And we're back. Xbox. All right, no worries, Xbox. And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break Podcast. I'm waiting for Mr. Fashionably Late. Again, His Royal Highness is not here yet. It is, of course, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching this. I truly appreciate it. Sean had some internet troubles again. Couldn't make it. So, Joe, I said 10. He said after the game. Well, it's been done over an hour. All right, what are you going to do? What's up, Greg? It is Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching this. Truly appreciate it. Want to go ahead and make sure we give out the love to our good friends, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Yo! Also as well, of course, don't forget our friends at the Lakerholics, screw Lakerholics.com. I do not know yet if they're going to do a show. Maybe I will get a text during the course of this show and find out if they're going to do a show for the weekend. But in the meantime, go ahead and check out what they're doing at Lakerholics.com. Of course, our good friends, including Empire Jeff TV, covering the Lakers and Dodgers. Dodgers starting to play better as it gets closer and closer to the end of the season there. Also as well, of course, actually, you guys were talking about Stone Hansen. Well, he retweeted out today, so he is a little bit active on Twitter at report_court. At Alfred Esmond, I'll hopefully get a chance to talk to him and catch up real soon, the not too distant future. And of course, my good friend Legend, trying to see if we can go ahead and match on time. He couldn't make it as well last night, but he's going to try to go ahead and make it up to me as far as stopping on by for you guys right here on the weekend if we have a show Sunday night early enough to make sure he's taken care of because he's on the East Coast as well. So I want to go ahead and make sure you go ahead and spread the love to those guys. Plus also make sure you like and subscribe to all these guys and also like and subscribe to get the latest notifications on when we go live on the air with the latest Lakers Fast Break podcast. We're getting closer. That's right, closer to training camp. So hopefully you will stay with us because we'll be on more frequently with stuff. And also don't forget, you can become a member of the Lakers Fast Break for just $2.99. I've got something with members first in mind that I'm starting up on Monday, and I will reveal what that is on Sunday for you guys that'll be starting on Monday. So go ahead and check that out for Sunday's show. And if you become a member, again, you'll be getting to take or partake in what I am doing starting on Monday first, ahead of anyone else right here if you become a member at the Lakers Fast Break podcast. So the Lakers, as I mentioned on last night's abbreviated show, was that we have finally got Luka resting, hopefully somewhere, whether it's still in Europe or he's on his way to the United States. He has finished his time in EuroBasketball League. Unfortunately, Slovenia, or fortunately to some people out there who wanted Luka to kind of get some rest, finished off his EuroBasket League with a loss, 99-91 to Slovenia. Tough so, great to have you here. Still waiting for Joe to hop on. Absolutely. Yes, 39 big ones. Not the most efficient day for him. 5 of 15 from 3, I believe 11 of 25 overall. It was, though, about another 80% plus shooting from the free throw line, which got him or helped get him that 39 points. That is the most encouraging thing I take away. He's fast, he's quick, getting to that line, getting the contact, getting the fouls, and converting his free throws above 80% overall on his way to 34 points and, right around 34 and a half points in the EuroBasket League in a game. Remember, these games are only 40 minutes, and he's averaging 34 and a half. That's amazing. Also above 7 assists, 7 rebounds as well. Just absolutely just an overall great performance. He was also considered one of the top defenders in EuroBasket as far as how many steals he got over the course of the games, but you can take that for what it's worth. I'm not going to go ahead and start any of that. I want to see it on an NBA platform, as we talked about with Giannis, Jokic, and all that stuff. It is EuroLeague, so there's only so much you could take away from it. So I am going to say I'm pleased. I'm happy. And I'm also thankful that Luka will have about, well, if they take it easy on him in training camp, about a month of not full speed action before really gets into it. Because what you anticipate, I mean, if they're smart about it, I wouldn't have him go all out in the exhibition games, maybe 10, 15 minutes here, 20 minutes here, then ramping it up to about 25, maybe even 30 minutes in the final preseason game. Or you could just have him just sit out one or two of those preseason games as well, leading into the season. So, yeah, I think they're going to be very careful with him in training camp and exhibition leading up into the season. That would be the smart way to go. So I'm hoping that will be the case, and then looking forward to seeing what we can do. Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Highness, Your Highness, Joe Soro is on the phone. He says, sometimes planning these shows are just a pain in my butt sometimes because of the way these guys are, especially Mr. King Soro himself. We tell him a time, and he's late for the time. But it is what it is. It is the Lakers Fast Break. I'm on with you guys now. So tell me your thoughts in the chat on what Luka did in EuroBasket League. Were you guys happy? Were you guys pleased? How did he look to you? I know we had some of the games on playback.tv, so it's Lakers Fast Break. We were having a football game on earlier today, the football game with Green Bay knocking off, getting the victory earlier today over the Washington Commanders. Nearly nasty Achilles injury suffered by Austin Eckler. I was mentioning to Joe and the guys on our WhatsApp chat that really bad luck injury-wise for Austin Eckler 2 years ago. If you remember last year, he had a kickoff and went full speed and then just splat just right there, took a hit and was knocked out cold and out of the lineup for several weeks. So that's the second year in a row for a bad injury for Austin Eckler. My thoughts are with him on that. JY says, thankfully it's over. I don't care what does in the Euro win for our Lakers. Yeah, he just looked good. He looked good. Got out of there relatively healthy. Got a little hip issue. Game after last, of course, somebody fell on his knee to start off with, kind of give us a scare right off the bat, one of his teammates, but it kind of worked out okay. He still looked good, 39 points, and he's ready to come here and hopefully dominate this upcoming season. Tuff says he only saw Luka in one game, but he looked good. Yes, absolutely indeed. Drip Show, what's up? Great to have you here. King Soro will be on here in a little bit. His Highness will be coming here up in a second. He's on the phone. You can't plan anything with this guy. I'm telling you. You just cannot plan anything with this guy. It is, of course, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for joining us. Truly appreciate you doing so. So with that said, again, Luka is coming home to L.A., his new home in L.A., and obviously getting ready for that as the Lakers start to ramp up. I know in a few days, if he's still doing it for one last time, maybe. The LeBron James spectacular mini camp that he holds each and every year. So I'm assuming that that's going to still take place sometime in the next 10 days or so. So definitely looking forward to seeing. Maybe it'll happen near where Joe lives because he does have a place where they actually did hold it at one time. As far as training camp and I believe a LeBron camp. But last year, I think it was in San Diego, which is still in the not too far proximity from Joe. So maybe he'll be able to catch a little bit of it. I'll probably ask him if he's going to get ear to the ground on if the Lakers minicamp and LeBron minicamp will be somewhere near there. So kind of miss the old days, though, when the Lakers had their training camp in Honolulu. It was always nice to see them relaxing right there in the sun and fun right there in Honolulu. But I believe the Clippers took that over, but I don't know if anybody's doing it here. When does the exhibition game start? Well, funny that you asked, Tuff. The first exhibition game is on the 3rd of October against Phoenix. So prepare for that. It is coming up on the way. Lakers, I believe, are still doing a Palm Springs. I'm going to go ahead. Let me bring up their schedule. Of course, they're coming by to Vegas as well. Last year was so great because I got a chance to meet Aussie and his entire family. Just truly, it was a pleasure in doing so. They were here running all over the West Coast, and it was such a pleasure just to go ahead and meet him and his family before the Lakers exhibition game here. So it was really nice to see. But if you guys come by in Vegas, yep, I'm always love to meet you guys right here in Las Vegas. And speaking of which, Mr. Sorrow is here, King Sorrow, His Highness, the guy that is here, finally off the phone, finally here for you, finally here, Mr. Simblades, Simblades with a Y.com, and the guy behind, Joe Sorrow Experiment, right there for you. It is Joe Sorrow. Joe, good to have you here. Looking like you're in a chipper mood. That's always good to see. Your thoughts on Luka Doncic? I know you've elaborated on it. I know you've been able to see a lot of the highlights. Again, the thing that I like to point out is looked quick, sharp cutting, looked a little bit more athletic than obviously what we saw when he first got traded here because of the lingering effects of the injury. The thing I liked the most was he was getting to the line and converting 80% plus on his free throws, which, as you and I know, is very important that you don't leave those kind of points on the table.
Hey, Tough, how you doing, my friend? It seems like Luka hurt us. I've said this before. Thank God, because someone who controls the ball, controls the offense, and controls the tempo of an entire game, it's crucial for them to hit the freebies because you don't have any weaknesses at that point if you're that guy. And while he's not a shutdown defender, you don't need it. You don't need it. He doesn't need to be a shutdown defender. But what he does need is the ability to make the opponent pay in every facet of the ball game. Because at the end of the day, the goal is to score the most points to win. No one cares that you got 5 steals. You have more points at the end. And no one does, in my view, very few do it better than Luka Doncic in terms of getting points. And it's going to be important that he hits at 80, 82 so that they know, hey, if this guy gets an N1, he's going to make that he's going to make it. He's going to make the third point. So I it's funny, I haven't given a lot of care to the EuroBasket tournament, but I got irritated that they lost to Germany. I thought they were going to make a run, and then they lost. As soon as
they led in that first half.
As soon as I got a little bit into it, they freaking lost, and I was like, But it's okay. Luka's in shape. Luka is in top form. Luka is in about 2.5 weeks going to be ready to start having his first real NBA season as an LA Laker. And I am very excited to see his skill set in the NBA and to see what the Lakers are going to be able to do here.
Once again, it is, of course, our good friend, Mr. Joe Sorrow, and me, Joe Glassford. It is the Lakers Fast Break. Truly appreciate you joining us. So with Luka finally, leaving Europe, heading back to California, I'm assuming he's going to partake in the LeBron mini camp. By the way, do you know, or have you put an ear to the ground if it's going to be near you this time around?
I'm hearing it is. If there's a forum to see it, I may go look this time. Right. I will be in San Diego. I will be in San Diego tomorrow, and there's a lot of things building up for San Diego. One being our soon-to-be show, 3-hour show. I'm going to be making sure our technical issues aren't going to be an issue. And because it's a pretty powerful studio, I want to make sure everything is good there. So I'll get a chance to go ahead and test the waters there tomorrow. And there's other work going on as well that's continuing to bloom. Very good things are happening, and the better the things get on my side, the better the things will get on with the show, especially with the season upon us here.
I did want to mention to Tuff because he wanted to know the schedule, and actually, let me go ahead and bring it up in this nice, neat little package right here coming up. It does start the 3rd of October, and I'm going to go ahead and show it to you right now. Bring it up right here. Lakers play the Suns on the 3rd. Then they play the Golden State Warriors on the 12th. Then after that, you see there with, I believe it is the Mavs coming up on the 15th. That's the one here in Vegas. And the 17th, that's going to be at Crypto.com versus Sacramento. By the way, the 3rd is going to be in Palm Springs. So Palm Springs, the Crypto.com arena, then Las Vegas, and then the Crypto.com arena. There you go. Drip Show, what's up, Drip Show? Gerald Joe, keep an eye out for Drip Show gift mail. Drip Show, you are most kind. I do appreciate anything that you send. You've done a great job with sending stuff to Joe, and I'm truly appreciative of anything you send over to me, and I cannot thank you enough for doing so. Great part of the show, Drip Show. Please support what he is doing. Go ahead and check him out on Instagram right there. So yeah, absolutely. So Tough, you got right there a big idea exactly what's going on with the exhibition. I like the fact it's only 4 games. I think it makes it a lot easier, more manageable. They're not loading a ton of games, especially with the 82 game season. So I do like that aspect a little bit when it comes to
the preseason should be getting the engines revved up and maybe having a couple players that could show some stuff. That's usually what it's for. Basketball is different than football in my view, even though there's catastrophic injuries that are always a fear in football. But in basketball, it's different because they're going to play 82 games. So you don't need 12 games in preseason. I think the handful is enough. And I'm excited. I'm excited for Laker basketball. I'm starting to feel that I'm getting that old-fashioned feeling. I've been quoting Dumb and Dumber all day today, by the way, for some reason. the lines I said, the lines me and my buddy were saying, I thought the Rockies would be a little more rockier because we were waiting on information, and it didn't come when we thought it would, and then it ended up. And then, of course, I followed it with that John Denver's full of shit, man. Rest in peace, John Denver, by the way. Great man.
JY, fight night this weekend. Most anticipated fight since Pacquiao and Mayweather. It's going to fill up the Legion Stadium here. So, yeah. I mean, I don't know as far as views. I think it will beat Paul versus Tyson on number of views on Netflix. So, yeah, I really think, and it's going to do huge South America, U.S. I really think it's going to do big numbers, Joe.
Oh, yes. This has been too long, man. It's too long. Boxing is a special sport. And the great boxers turned into tight ends in the NFL. I can't remember who said that. It might have been Max Kellerman. I can't remember who it was, but I thought that was such a good assessment. I don't know if it's true, but it makes sense. Most of the really good heavyweights that I remember growing up watching, guys like Riddick Bowe, guys like Lennox Lewis. I know James Buster Douglas wasn't a great heavyweight, but he did beat Mike Tyson. Those guys are all 6'5", 240s and 250s and machines. When you put them with anyone else but the people that are professionals in their sport, these guys could destroy human beings with a couple shots. And the middleweights, and I say middleweight because there's two. To me, it's heavyweight and then it's the middleweights. And I know there's different classes of welterweights and all that, but basically the smaller guys. I always say the smaller guys have sustained a longer popularity because a lot of times those fighters are better fights. The lighter the weight, the better boxing you see, the better punishment can be taken usually in those fights because they're $150, $160 versus guys that are 240, 250. Oliver McCall wouldn't be remembered as someone who was a great boxer, the fairly decent boxer. Even he knocked out Lennox Lewis with one punch. Hasim Rahman knocked out Lennox Lewis. That's the difference with heavyweights versus the middleweights. The middleweights are going to show maybe a better fight, a better overall fight for 10 to 12 rounds because they can handle some punishment typically. And I think this is going to be one of those things. I think it's probably going to go 12. Yeah. And hopefully we see good boxing.
I hope we continue to see action. Keep active. And it, like you said, it's probably going to go to the scorecards, and we'll see. Someone's not going to be happy. I could tell you one segment of that stadium will not be happy when that announcement comes out. I'll just tell you right now.
Well, there's no better there's no better place to have boxing than Vegas. I know Madison Square Garden was the mecca of boxing for decades, but for me, my generation, my memory of boxing has always been Vegas. So it's nice
for the weekly fights. You could go MSG. I did see a lot of fights. Tyson, when he was growing up, was fighting a lot on the East Coast, week in, week out. But the big fights, like you said, should be in Vegas.
Vegas has that. That's the good part of Vegas. When that they did it in Ocean's 11. They were explaining how usually the casinos have this much money, and then if it's I can't remember what it was. If it's a weekend, I think that was it.
They kind of changed it around a little bit,
yeah. And then
for dramatic purposes, but
yeah,
it was good.
Yeah, sure. And then of course the fight night that's when they have the most money. Whether it's true or not, I thought it at least made sense, and it kind of told a cool story about why and what.
It's kind of weird though that you would have all three of those major casinos all hold their money in one place, and I'm like, that's not quite.
Not really. You never want to do that in life, guys. Do not ever leave your money all in one place, and if you do, you are risking many mistakes.
No matter how titanium your walls are,
you don't want to do that.
Danny Ocean coming your way.
The only way you escape that, should something go wrong, is if you were smart enough to pay off all your debt. Then if you get stuck and you're at zero, at least you don't have debt. Debt is the ultimate in terms of when you don't have it, you are actually, in my view, wealthy. You are a wealthy person if you do not have any debt, especially if you don't have to pay a mortgage. Now, unfortunately, you got to pay property tax still everywhere and insurance, but that's how it goes. But it's a far cry from paying, let's say, $2,000 to $3,000 a month versus I think my property tax is 60. I think it's $6,300 a year here, which is not bad considering there's others that are paying a lot more around me. And then of course the insurance and things like that takes it up to around $8,000. So $8,000, one project that I do can cover a whole year's house payment at that point.
There you go.
Wealth is no debt. If I had to give you any financial advice, and by the way, I am not a licensed financial advisor. Please do not. I'm trying to keep it simple. I'm not giving you any advice on what to invest in. I'm telling you that debt is the ultimate killer or the ultimate unchained freedom.
It's your opinion. It is your opinion at the end of the day.
I think that comment is more about not so much advice, but it's more
I'm trying to cover your bases, man. Somebody comes to you, I lost all my money, Joe, because of something you said on the LFP.
Yeah, that would be disappointing.
Yes, indeed.
That would be disappointing. But again, it's a statement. It's a statement. It's a statement. That's really what it is.
No worries. But it is, of course, the Lakers fast break. Before we get to the juicy, scandalous part of the show, and boy, I can't wait to have that part of the conversation because it's always fun ripping on the Clippers. Again, Luka from what I took away, I get the biggest part of his game that I really liked at this lighter weight, Joe, was his ability to still get to the line. I know there was some concern by people because at the heavier weight or at the weight that he may have more strength, he's able to get by people and use his shoulders to get by people and get to the line and draw fouls. That didn't seem to phase him even at this lighter weight. He was quicker, seemed to penetrate at ease and at will anytime he wanted to. It's not always about speed with him. It's about a quick start, a quick move, and then just really just a lot of Euro stepping into the lane to carefully manipulate exactly where he's going to go before he takes a shot or ultimately gets fouled. So it just absolutely looked like he was on it as far as getting to the basket in that end of his game. I'm still concerned about his volume shooting. I mean, what if he's going to average 30 points in the league? He's going to have his volume shooting. He's not going to shoot the greatest out there. I'm hoping 37%. From what we saw, Joe, right now from behind the arc, it looks like it's going to be more to 34, 35. But it's Luka. What are you going to do? I mean, he is the guy that's going to have the ball the majority of time in his hands. He is going to be putting up those shots. He is going to be having the volume. It comes with the territory. It's simple as that.
Well, Kobe finished his career with 44.9% field goal percentage. Not exactly the clean number that you would want, but Kobe won. You win, the numbers don't matter. And Kobe won a lot. And I believe Luka is a winner, and I've seen him win. Not the ultimate prize yet, but I'm fairly confident that he will be a champion very, very shortly, and he will be the reason why, the main reason why. The game hasn't changed much, but what's encouraging, but I can't really gauge it too much right now with the talent in the EuroBasket tournament, is he's lost weight and still looks like he's maintained his strength. That's a good sign. If he can do that, if he can maintain that strength that he had when he was 30 pounds heavier and be lighter, that is as dangerous as you can get. As dangerous as you can get. And for him to be as useful as he can be, it's going to, the four guys that are with him are going to need to also play well so that gets enhanced. It's just there's no other way to look at this. There's got to be a double team on Luka every single game. And if that's the case, then everyone around him is going to benefit from that, especially someone like DeAndre Ayton. And remember DeAndre Ayton, when Chris Paul was feeding him, and it wasn't something that we hadn't seen before from Chris Paul against the Lakers in 2021. I know that AD got hurt, but even when the Lakers were winning some of those games, DeAndre Ayton was essentially doing a layup line for the entire series.
And you're right about the doubles, though, because remember, even in the EuroLeague, Joe, remember he beat Italy over the weekend, and because they refused to double and refused to put a better defense on Luka, the Italian head coach resigned following against
Well,
Luka.
I'll give the Italian coach some kudos here. Number one, great hair, great look, very Pat Riley, modern day as much as he can be. But he looked visibly miserable. I saw him and I'm going, this guy doesn't look like he's enjoying his job. Like more so than, like, this isn't Doug Moe or Don Nelson sweating through his corduroy jacket, right? He looked like he was depressed. And when I found out he quit, I was like, yeah, I saw it in his face. The Luka thing is, I'm not even really thinking about Luka, to be honest with you. I'm thinking about LeBron, and I'm thinking about Rui and Reeves and DeAndre Ayton and the rest of the guys. Because if Luka draws the second guy constantly, game in and game out, that's going to open the lane for LeBron to dive more than he probably ever has in his career. And that's going to allow him to not have to worry about shooting too much and allows him to do what he does best, and that is get to the basket. No one, in my view, in the history of basketball, and this is crazy to say with Michael Jordan and centers, I'm not really necessarily counting that because they're there already. They're down on the block. But LeBron to the basket is the surest thing in sports. From that aspect, because the surest thing in sports before LeBron was Shaq a foot away underneath the rim. He's going to dunk the ball. That's an easy assessment. That's an easy understanding of what that is. But it's much more difficult to dribble the ball where he's going and get to the basket. That takes more skill, and no one has done it better, in my view. And a lot of it has to do with the fact of the skill set as well as the size. Because Michael and Kobe could get to the basket at will. AI could get to the basket at will as well. But LeBron possessed the size, the speed, and the ability to finish the play at the basket. So this would allow him to have more opportunities there. And then DeAndre Ayton drawing that guy because there's no choice, because then it's, well, you're going to give Luka free reign and getting a layup, or are you going to give him a passing lane to the guy wide open in the corner? It's a very, very encouraging feeling to know that if Luka is now going to take advantage of these plays more often because he's in shape, because he's lighter, it's just going to mean very good things for everybody else to have the opportunity to do well.
Well, looking good for Luka. Again, we'll see what happens. And if he does have or join the LeBron mini camp, maybe our own Joe Sorrell might check it out. We'll wait and see.
Yeah, Gerald, I'm gonna. There are some things developing on my end where there may be some more opportunities to be physically in places where things are going on. I think it's that time. And Vegas, I have other reasons to come to Vegas. You're there. I have my friend Jesse, who is the developer for Corrupt, and things are doing. Things are always progressing in that area. It helps when you have a couple games that have already gone out. Things tend to develop. A lot of times, the first and second things don't go the way you want, but they know that it's possible because it's public. So yeah, there's going to be an opportunity for us to do some things here shortly, and I'm excited to have that opportunity.
As am I. And again, not only just for a 3-hour special that we're going to try and do here in the not too distant future, but I do have something special for our members first and for everyone else starting next week as well and going on for a little while. So I can't wait to go ahead and show that off to you guys. But before we head on out, my friend, the juicy, scandalous part of the show, with all respect to Luka. It was always great getting you guys caught up as far as Luka. Again, 34.5 points in 40-minute games was his average. He averaged about 36 minutes a game. Yeah, 34.5 points. I'll take it. Indeed. But the real reason for the scandal part of the show, Joe, is more evidence came out. Pablo Torre found out more. Because Pablo Torre finds out. If you go to his show after ours, Pablo Torre finds out on YouTube. He brought up another show early this morning where he brought up more revelations in this ongoing Kawhi Leonard, Los Angeles Clippers, and the defunct Aspiration Company that at one time was going to be or wanted to be very active within the lives of the Clippers, including a $300 million offer to be the sponsor of the Clippers at one point in time. So we left off, Joe, last week with revelations that $28 million was given by this Aspiration Company to Kawhi Leonard over the course of 4 years for services rendered, which was no services. He didn't have to do anything per his contract, spelled out right there. probably one of the best contracts of all time if you're the recipient of that contract, because he didn't have to do anything and got millions for it. Plus, we found out later on, I believe other sources said that there was $20 million additionally in stocks. But the revelation that came down the pike earlier today, Joe, was that when this aspiration company, where the CEO, by the way, did get either pled guilty, I think he pled guilty to wire fraud as this company was closing, aspiration was closing and going defunct and all that. As they were going into the tank, they got behind on some payments, I guess, to Kawhi. And whether or not it's Uncle Dennis that made this arrangement or not, again, that part of it's speculation. But the paper trail got even more distinct, Joe, because when the time of they were going, starting to go defunct, things started to not look good for aspiration. They got behind on their payment to Kawhi, a $2 million influx of cash by Dennis J. Wong. We'll mention who he is in a minute and why this is so important. But about a $2 million payment went to aspiration 9 days, Joe, before the company made a $1.75 million. So basically, 90% of that $2 million influx of cash, $1.75 million of it went to Leonard 9 days later. The payment to Leonard was late, according to what was reiterated on the show, and according to the payment schedule, as the company was reportedly having financial troubles before ultimately declaring bankruptcy. Dennis J. Wong is interesting, Joe, for two reasons. Number one, he is what you thought, and I didn't know this either. I don't know how many people knew this, Joe. Do you realize that Dennis Wong is a part owner of the Los Angeles Clippers? He's a 1% stakeholder, but he's the only other stakeholder besides Steve Ballmer, I believe, for the Clippers. Coincidentally, he just happens to be the former Harvard roommate of Steve Ballmer. So the guys have been friends for decades. On top of that, aspiration, you know why that there's even more speculation about the money being funneled from one end to the other, Joe? This is the whopper, Joe. His daughter, Dennis Wong's daughter, worked at aspiration during that time period, I believe, according to reports. What's the old saying? Something's fishy in Denmark?
Yeah. Yeah, it's... So there's a couple things I'm going to try to make sense here. And
is Uncle Dennis getting jail time? I don't think he's getting
not likely. This has more... This is more of an issue of the NBA and Kawhi Leonard and possibly the Clippers and Ballmer, right?
Uh-huh.
That's really what it's going to be about. Companies go bankrupt all the time. People doing...
Well, they could single out Kawhi in all this if they thought it was more Kawhi and Dennis, Uncle Dennis, making these demands.
Yeah, they're going to have like legitimate evidence of them on tape and all that, and then that creates a whole different situation where you have to tell people we're recording you and all that. Like, I don't know how the case would be. That I think Nick Molina would probably be a better person to ask those kind of questions to find out kind of where the base of this is.
Laker Nick to everybody out there.
Yes, Laker Nick. The main focus for us as basketball fans is this: if whatever this ends up being, and it's true to what it sounds like it is, I seriously don't really know what's going to happen. I was thinking about, they might do this. That I don't know. I had mentioned
At first, I thought it was going to be just a slap on the wrist. Joe.
I don't think it's going to be a slap in the wrist. No.
At first, I thought this time last week, I thought they were going to get, sigh of relief. But follow the money, Joe. Follow the money.
Right. Follow the money. And I told you I didn't like how they came out defensive.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing worse than a liar coming out and gaslighting. To me, if I'm Adam Silver and if it turns out that there was real shady stuff going on and there's proof, the first question I'm asking the PR person and Steve Ballmer, why did you write that letter or that press release? And why did you get on ESPN and say, oh, we didn't do anything wrong when you did? That you made it worse. You not only are a liar, you came out and acted like you weren't a liar. That's worse. Shut up. That's why lawyers tell everyone to shut up. Just shut up. So, I don't know what happened. I don't know. And I'm not going to speculate, but it doesn't sound good and it doesn't look good. But then the media has a lot of times media, like here, I'll give you an example. When they were raiding dispensaries in the early 2010s, I would always notice that the headline would mention Mexican mafia. And I've had friends that have owned dispensaries in Santa Ana, in Orange County, and all that, right?
That are not part of the Mexican mafia.
Yeah, like, where did you come? And that's some of the stuff that I've learned. I've always said I learned a lot in the dispensary business, just being around it because my friend ran it, right? He wanted me to get into the business, and I had a short stint in that world, even though I don't smoke. And then, after a while, I realized this is just not my thing. But what I did get out of it is I learned a lot about BS and I learned a lot about business. Probably more so than any business class I ever took in college. No joke. Learned a lot about business. I cherish that 1.5 to 2 years being around it because I got a chance to understand people better. I got a chance to understand the laws better, how law enforcement operates. And I'm talking about the feds, local police, doesn't matter what it was, sheriffs. Like, I learned a lot. And it helped me in my businesses after. So all this spice that's going on right now is that could be something that's cooked up so that we can go, ooh, what's going on? What did they do? But I'm not going to go there. However, it is true that there were disgruntled people there. That's true. There's not a lot that I read that denied it. And that right there, folks, is the big thing when you're responsible for people. When you treat people like shit and you're not 100% in the business side of things. See, if you're 100% on the business side of things, you have nothing to worry about. But you got to be very careful. Like, you got to be Joe Friday with everything. You got to have every dot, every T, every line, everything punctuated. Like, you got to be on point with that. And some people have the ability to do that. They can delegate it well. But, man, if you're doing some things that aren't 100% and you piss off the people that are around that, this is when things like this happen. So, my initial gut says if this is 100%er, because this thing is very similar, it's almost worse, it's just as bad as the Houston Astros cheating in a lot of ways. It's worse, but it's in the same realm that it destroyed things. Like Houston Astros cheating in 2017 cost Clayton Kershaw another World Series and possibly a World Series MVP. It cost Yasiel Puig a ring. It cost Andre Ethier a ring. And for us Dodger fans, we hold those guys, up a little bit. Justin Turner lost a ring. Imagine how different his resume looks winning 2 rings as a Dodger, especially considering he was the Ron Cey of our generation. We love Justin Turner. I'll always love Justin Turner. Amazing, amazing player, amazing guy. So you can't even quantify what this did, because if Kawhi Leonard doesn't allegedly get catered to outside the parameters of the NBA contract, he would have been a Laker. And the Lakers look different. And I'm not saying this as a Laker fan. I'm just saying that's what would have happened, because that's what it was between, right? We knew he was either going to be a Laker because he wanted to come to LA. He wanted to be back in LA. He's going to be a Laker or a Clipper. So imagine how different things would have been had they not allegedly done this. Lakers would have probably won 2 or 3 championships. Almost not even a probably. They would have, because the labor of love would have been not even more with Kawhi there. AD isn't pressing as much. LeBron isn't pressing as much, and obviously Kawhi isn't pressing as much. It would have changed a lot of things. We could have seen the Lakers possibly beat the Celtics in 2000. Well, they would have beaten the Celtics in 2022, in my view, if everybody was healthy. They would have beaten Milwaukee in 2021. I think they would have three-peated. Honestly, I think they would have three-peated. So it's a juicy story, and it's not looking good, but I don't know if it's just pizzazz because the media likes to throw that stuff out there to get you going. Not yet.
Well, again,
but you were pretty detailed. You were pretty detailed. I mean, that's pretty detailed the way you told it. It doesn't sound good. It sounded good the way you said it, which creates a very bad thing for the situation.
And the excuse me, the Board of Governors meeting is this week, and Adam Silver is front and center in all of this. He did make some generic statements to it. The one thing that I think surprised some people, especially close to this situation, was that he had no idea about aspiration. And I'm thinking to myself, they bid $300 million for one time to be sponsor, the main sponsor for the Clippers in their earlier years of this corporation. And you're telling me you don't know who they are? That kind of just, I think I'll set off a lot of people's like, huh? Kind of, And even though he made the generic statements afterwards about how they're looking into it and they're going to make the appropriate decision, et cetera, he does not have to have specific proof. He can have circumstantial proof, detrimental to the league. He can have just, again, if he has the broad parameter to go ahead and provide discipline if it looks like it's something that, even if there's no smoking gun, Joe, which in this case, I think you've almost got the smoking gun right there, as close to it as you can with what was reported on today. But he doesn't even need the smoking gun. If it just looks bad and it looks like it's a rotten fish and it's smelling, he can go ahead and provide discipline. It's just dependent on how much he chooses to get. So coming out of this, again, this happened. The news that was reported by Pablo Torre from Pablo Torre Finds Out on his YouTube channel. You can watch it in detail there. That it's come out during the Board of Governors meetings in New York right now. So it's very interesting how this is going to lay itself out, and if there's more to come. Pablo Torre says probably not for anything more for a little while, but even what we have here is really a lot to chew on. And if they don't really hammer down on the Clippers, take away their all-star game upcoming this season, or fine, or draft picks taken away, or suspend Ballmer, or what have you, or that they might just go after the one of the main proprietors in all this is, as I don't know how much they can even get Uncle Dennis, because of what they can take away him as a representative, a legal representative. Kawhi, I don't think that's going to do a whole lot. But they can go ahead and after Kawhi and void that contract.
My feeling is, if this did happen, you void Kawhi's remaining 2 years. But this thing would have to be done before the start of the season, which it doesn't look like it's going to happen. So maybe they eliminate the last year of his contract. they might have to deal with the PA on that. They may not do it, but that's something that popped in my head. That would scare the bejesus, I think, out of anybody for the future.
I mean, you're just with the discipline, Joe. You're supposed to send a message that this stuff is not going to fly. If you just do a slap on the wrist, I mean, I'm not. And I said before, if you tell me that the Clippers are the only one doing this as far as in sports anywhere around the world, I think you're just there's a bridge in Brooklyn I probably want to sell you, because I think there's probably another team out there that's doing something similar to this, whether it's in the NBA, NHL, Major League Baseball, EuroLeague soccer, what have you. There's somebody out there doing something like this. But if you don't lay the hammer down on this, it might send a signal to some other NBA teams that, maybe we can get creative with our books too.
Yeah.
You have to send a message, Joe. You always have to send a message.
If you want to send a message, you have it has to be swift and sharp. And it would mean a player losing out on a $50 million contract. Imagine if they suspended Kawhi's last season without pay. Losing $50 million. That would stop anyone from ever doing this again. That's the only way. That's the only thought I had. And then as far as Ballmer is concerned, short of making him sell the team, I don't think that anything's going to affect him. Even if they find him, what, 20 million, so what?
I mean, I don't think they'll do a Donald Sterling and take the team away from him. Maybe they'll take the All-Star game away from him, but that's a lot of logistics there that they would have to change in order to do that.
Would you want to deprive the fans of that? There's a question there. The other thing is,
I don't know what to do, because who really cares about the All-Star game at this point?
Yeah, it might be the death sentence in terms of cap draft. If Joe Smith, which I think is a lesser, I'd say it's a lesser offense, even though it's a pretty big offense. It's a lesser offense. They took away 5 first. They have a precedent, yes. 5 first-round picks. If they took 7 first-round picks, what the hell are how the hell are the Clippers going to build at that point ever? It would be very similar to the death sentence in college football back in the day.
They have first-round picks, just to let you know, Joe, in 27, 29, 30, 31, and 32 is what they have right now. Although, 27, the OKC has the right to swap because of the Paul George trade, Joe. So I think that's the last bit of it right there, is 2027.
It's not good. It's so bad if this thing is true. It's going to be swift and sharp.
Johnny says KD. I know 805 is talking about KD being a top 5. The question is, will Houston maybe not play him a full 65 games because they want to rest him and keep him upright for a playoff run? That might be the question on there. If Wembanyama, I want to throw one for you guys, an oddball out there. If Victor Wembanyama gets the San Antonio Spurs to 48 wins or higher, he might be thrown in that mix. He would have to have a spectacular season to get that team to that high of situation.
I mentioned in the comments, KD's MVP status is over. They're going to try to preserve him as much as they can, and they have the defensive mentality to do that. And then he's going to be their guy when they need a basket. He's going to be Adrian Dantley when he was at Utah. Just scoring and let everybody else handle everything else. So
absolutely.
MVP, it's going to be Shai Gilgeous, Jokic, and Luka. It's going to be one of those 3. and Luka Jokic might be dropping out of that. Like he'd be number 3 right now on my list. It's either going to be Luka or SGA in terms of 1 and 2 at the moment.
It could be changed.
Anything. Yeah, anything can change. Somebody could sneak in there, but I don't know. I'd have to see how things go the first couple months.
Edwards, that could be a very good outside pick. Like for here in Vegas, I believe he's like 10-1, 12-1.
Edwards is too flighty. I don't think he'll ever win an MVP. He'd have to have. No, I think he'd have to drop 30, get a 1 seed, and really lead the team. He's too flighty. I don't know if he's got the focus for 82 games to really try and go after it.
Okay. No worries on that. Certainly isn't going to be Kawhi for that matter. That's for sure. But it is, of course, the Lakers fast break. I truly appreciate you joining us. Again, Luka coming off a great run in EuroLeague, coming out there at 34.5 points, I believe, in 40 minutes games that they are. He averaged, I think, about 35 minutes. So basically a point a minute. Absolutely outstanding performance. Just really excited to see what's to come for him. Joe, it's just about how you manage his minutes early on. Could he be a little bit fatigued, coming here? A couple weeks rest. I think that should be good. I think 2.5, 3 weeks rest before he gets back into the swing of things?
Sure. I can see that.
Just got to make sure you don't turn it up too soon, because I don't want to see him, just like right away, just manage his minutes early on the exhibition season. Just don't try to have him do too much so he's ready for the regular season, because he looks good to go, Joe. Yeah. Anything else stand out to you as far as his performance in EuroLeague?
Is Luka?
Yeah. Anything else stand out to you?
The thing that stood out is the free throw shooting improved, and the fact that he kept his strength even though he's dropped 30 pounds. Those are the 2 things I noticed. Yeah. And we have to see how he plays against NBA talent game in and game out, which he's shown he can do. I don't see any change in his game. Maybe a little bit more resistance from the strength side, but Luka has the chance to win a scoring title, finish the year with a triple-double, and an MVP. It's very likely that could happen. But the Lakers would have to be in the top 2, at the very least, top 2. And I don't even know if the 2 is going to be enough. They might say, oh, no, he needs to be 1. I don't know if the Lakers are capable of finishing the year as the best team in the West. I just think that's unrealistic, but he would have to play out of his mind to win an MVP as a 2 or 3 seed.
Joe Trevone is asking you, Joe, who is the greatest NBA player to never win an MVP?
Greatest NBA player that never win the MVP. That's a great question.
Oh, by the way, Johnny said he's taking some mushrooms. Read the story on Bryan Cranston. He talked about how he was at a wedding when he won an Emmy this past weekend, Creative Arts Emmy, for his guest performance in the studio. But his character in the studio got high on an accidental dose of mushrooms. Read the story on how he got wind of how experience on mushrooms, because he didn't have any leading into that particular shooting. So it's kind of funny, almost like what's the Johnny Depp movie with Fear and Loathing
in Las Vegas?
Yeah, yes, kind of like that. So yeah, if you want to guys check that out, but interesting to say the least on the mushrooms.
That's good.
Studio's a great show, by the way, on Apple TV Plus.
I would say,
that's a good one. I would
say probably Elgin Baylor, but When did they start giving out MVPs? Because Baylor was drafted in 1959.
I'm gonna check now. Check it out, and then it's Jerry West.
I think overall, when you factor in everything, I think Isaiah Thomas is the one that I thought of first.
55-56 is
okay. So there's always been an MVP, yeah, because Bob Pettit won an MVP.
Jerry West has never won either.
Jerry West has never won one. Yeah. So Jerry West, Elgin Baylor, and Isaiah Thomas, I'd say. Damn. I'll just go Jerry West.
That's close.
Yeah, it's close. See, I didn't watch Jerry and Elgin play, so I watched Isaiah play. So I feel like I have a little bit more credibility in picking somebody that I at least watched play. Yeah, but Jerry West probably I would pick Jerry West over any of. I would pick Jerry West just an eyelash hair against Elgin, and then of course I think Jerry West was better than Isaiah overall.
Yeah, because Jerry West. Let me see if they have this. Yeah. He finished as high as second in the league in MVP voting in 65-66. And also 69-70 and 70-71 and 70-72. So he finished second, Joe, 4 times. 4 times.
Yep. It's hard to win an MVP when Jerry was drafted in 1960 and he played until 1974. So he played 15 seasons. And when you look at the list of MVPs, it basically all you see is Bill Russell, Will Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
And one Oscar Robinson in that mix.
And then Oscar's in that mix. Obviously,
Wes Unseld, Willis Reed.
Willis Reed. I don't know what kind of year Jerry had in 1970 or 1969. Well, in 69, he was pretty amazing. I'd say he probably should have won one of those years.
Wes Unseld won it only getting 14 points a game, but he averaged 18 rebounds.
And he was a rookie that year as well. He was the rookie of the year and won the MVP. I think he's the only one that's ever done that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's a
22.
Pretty phenomenal feat. I don't think anybody will ever do that again.
Yeah, that is something. Yeah, he did. I think he's the youngest ever, right? That's what I'm looking at. Yeah, youngest ever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Yeah, just you'd always think that Jerry West at least won one, but yeah, no, he never did. Elgin or him, no.
And Elgin, yeah, Elgin and him not winning an MVP is shocking. I think I did remember they didn't, but it didn't register immediately because I was focused on people that I remember playing. John Stockton can be thrown in there as well, especially considering he owns 2 of the mainstay stats in basketball history.
Elgin Baylor finished second once, finished third in the MVP voting 3 times. Just to let you know.
Arvydas Sabonis. That's funny, Johnny. Gary Payton.
European League.
I don't know. I don't think Gary Payton had the game to win MVPs. He definitely had the game to win a more than one Defensive Player of the Year award, but most of these voters seem to like big men for some weird reason most of the time.
But yeah, interesting to say the least. But we thought we'd give you a heads up on what's going on. Luka's time in EuroBasketball in Europe right now is done as he heads to the United States to go ahead and, I guess, join his fellow Lakers brethren when LeBron opens up his LeBron camp here. Do you think it'll be the final one of his career?
Definitely as a Laker, yes. I think this will likely be his last season as a Laker. The only way I see him coming back is if they win it all for one more year. And then he can say, I'm going to retire after 2027. And I want that to happen. It would be a beautiful thing to get to 18 in 9 to 10 months. 9 to 10 months? Yeah. 9 months. Yeah, 9 months. That would just make everything nice, especially if the Dodgers can go back to back and then the Lakers win in June. It just would be, I mean, come on, man. I'd be in heaven at that point.
Just wanted to mention, though, with Wes Unseld, like you said, first rookie of the year ever to get the MVP. It's the only MVP he ever won.
It's unfortunate that some guys that didn't win the MVP. It's unfortunate that some of the guys that didn't win the MVP didn't get a chance to, because it just sometimes the talent was just too great.
He never came close again. Never came close. 8th was the highest he ever came.
Yeah.
In MVP
he won
voting.
a championship in 1978. Wes Unseld is the iconic Washington Bullet / Wizard player. So he did not, being the number one guy of a franchise, especially if you had won an MVP and won a championship. I'd say Wes Unseld, God rest his soul, I think he did something that's very rare as well. Still with that.
Reggie Miller, Johnny's asking.
I never looked at, for a while there, I thought Reggie Miller was not overrated, but he wasn't that good.
The highest he ever finished in MVP voting was 13th, Johnny.
Yeah, I thought he was obviously one of the best shooters of his time, but I never looked at, but he led well. His leadership was elite. His shooting was elite, but I didn't, and he created that fear. So Hall of Famer, of course, just different. I never saw his game I never saw his total game as elite. I just thought he was very good and this elite shooter, but his leadership covered a lot of that. So in the long run, if not for Michael Jordan, I think he would have won at least 1 or 2 championships. Well, if it wasn't for Michael and Kobe and Shaq, he would have won a couple championships, but that always happens in every era.
Well, there you have it. 805 says, if you've replaced Iguodala with Prime Lamar Odom, do the Warriors win in 2015? And does Lamar win Finals MVP?
That Finals MVP, and I'm going to say it until I die, it should have been LeBron's MVP, even with the losing. That was bad. Because Steph didn't play well enough in that series to be in it. He wasn't MVP worthy, even though he probably, if you factor in his entire season, sure. But that MVP should have gone to LeBron James, even in a losing effort. I'm sorry. That trophy belongs. And that's what irritates me, is you have to give it to someone who played well, really well, outside their normal realm, to give them the MVP and Andre Iguodala. But the MVP, the most valuable player of that series, was LeBron James. Even in a losing effort.
Glenn Rice was another great shooter, Serge. Absolutely. Absolutely, indeed. Another great shooter. Spent just enough time on the Lakers, but we all know how that went. Joe, just good show, man. Truly appreciate it.
I thought the subjects were I thought that both subjects were worthy of talking here, because they're important aspects of what's about to come here for the 2026 season. And it gives you a little bit of excitement. It gives you a little bit of a boost of the fact that your number one guy that in a billion years you never thought you'd get something like this is now going to be coming in dedicated, focused, and ready to whoop some ass for your team in his prime. That is exciting. That is an exciting thing to look forward to. And then seeing the Clippers continue to clipper just adds even more. And I don't dislike and hate the Clippers. I don't have a problem with Ballmer. I really don't. I call him Uncle Fester because he looks like Uncle Fester. I'm not saying it to insult him. But I say this in my daily life regularly. Some people just are born to win, and some people are just born to lose. And the Clippers were born to lose. And there isn't a billionaire or a racist or a non-racist or LA or San Diego that will ever change it, or Buffalo Braves. It will not change until I see it. As of right now, we will always see this team lose. And the Lakers will always get the superstar. Am I wrong? Is it that is it that big of a gamble to say that this team will eventually win a championship with this guy, because that's what they do when they get this guy? That's exciting.
And what the funny part about this, the ironic part in all this, as far as the Clippers are concerned, because they moved from San Diego, similar to what the Chargers did. But I guess just to continually rub it in on the city of San Diego, where do the Clippers G League team play, Joe? And what are they called?
What is it? Is it still the Viejas Arena over there in?
Yeah, I don't think they play in the
by
sports
SeaWorld.
arena. Yeah,
it's unfortunate.
But they are the San Diego. By the way, the G League team is called the San Diego.
I know. It is. It's sad because you're talking about the fifth largest city in America, and a gorgeous city, still in my book the best city on the planet. And you don't have a football team or a NBA team. It's sad because they should be able to hold those two sports. And it would be sports, major league sports in a city like that. It's fun, especially in San Diego. But ownership in both cases were so wretched and so toxic, it eliminated any chance of being able to see those go where we wish they could have gone.
Well, no, I just think it's funny, Joe, the irony. Okay, we're going to leave you, but eventually we'll get you back with another Clippers team, just a G League team. We'll leave you.
Yeah, but most of the people in San Diego now don't even remember that. They're all gone, practically all gone now. The 1983 was their last season in San Diego. That was 42 years ago.
Johnny says no. Fresno is the fifth largest without a port. Well, they're big. Let's just say they're big.
Without a port?
Yeah, without a port.
What does that have to do with sports franchise?
I don't know. I mean, what, a county? Maybe a county if you don't include the entire county. I don't know. It's a big city. Can we just say that's a big city? One of the best cultural food places on the planet is San Diego. I'll just leave it at that. I've had some incredible meals in San Diego, and I'll just leave it at that. But Johnny says, bank it, bet on it. Blazers will beat the Lakers. How? In a game for the season series? They'll beat them in the standings? You were kind of vague on that. I mean, if they win, the Lakers win the season series 3-1 or something like that, however many games they play, yeah, they won a game. But does that be specific, Johnny? Gotta let me know what you mean by that. Search, yes, you're right. San Diego is a great city. Yeah. Oh, you said Steelers, because that's another thing Trevon was asking on, as far as which one do you want the championship for the most?
Super Bowls are the hardest, in my view, hardest title to win. And the Steelers winning the 7th Super Bowl would put them back by themselves in the top spot of all-time Super Bowl wins. And then Aaron Rodgers returning the trophy from the 2010 season to him would be the ultimate in iron. And Retribution.
805 says, should the Chargers build an open-air stadium in LA or San Diego? I don't know. The stadium they have now is great. And if you go just past the Lakers UCLA Health Center facility, just down the street and to your right, it all immediately goes light powder blue, because there's a whole area dedicated to the Chargers. I mean, it absolutely dwarfs the space allocated for the Lakers and their facility. It's incredibly sized on that one. So they've acclimated themselves here, 805. So I don't think they're leaving anytime soon. I understand it could be a situation like the Clippers and the Lakers where they're sharing the Staples Center, aka the Crypto.com arena. But that was a facility. It's getting older in age. It's in like Joe has said, and not the best area of the town. They went on, and of course, their owner wanted something to help with separating their identity, making their own identity. That stadium, Joe, though, is just so nice. It's going to be hard for them to leave, or the Rams or the Chargers to leave that stadium.
Well, that's really the Rams stadium. Chargers are just kind of renting it.
They seem very acclimated for someone who's just renting it.
That's Dean Spanos at his best. No responsibility for anything. He just comes in, makes his money, and does whatever it is that he wants to do. He's not the only one. There's a lot of bum owners that were fortunate enough to own a team at the right time and be in an era where the TV contracts are so abundant that their inadequacies can be covered by that.
Okay.
The Mike Browns, the McCaskies, the Bidwells, the Spanoses, those guys have all been dinks their entire lives, but they've been validated because their daddies bequeathed the team to them. And I'm not a guy that gets all crazy with trust fund babies. I only get that way because we're pretty happy with Art Rooney Jr. Dan Rooney's son. He's a stand-up guy, and I'm not saying that because he's a Steeler owner. He just is. He's a stand-up person. He's a good guy. He cares, and those guys generally don't. Those guys are one of those guys that like to say, we're a family, everyone. We're a family. And then as soon as the what hits the fan, they'll sell you for one percentage point up in their stocks. Stone Cold said it best. DTA. Don't trust anybody. It's a great philosophy. However, I don't want you to shun everyone either. That's not fair. There's a lot of good people out there. Just be very, very cautious and make sure you pick your friends the right way. Because in my view, at some point, when you start to get older, if you keep yapping about your friends sucking, your relationship sucking, whatever, now it's a you problem. Because you should be old enough to understand not to hang out with those types, if it is them. Which it usually isn't, because those were still complaining in their late 40s and 50s that they can't find anybody and everybody's like, ah. Then you're the problem. Pick better friends. Pick better relationships. Be an adult. I know it sucks. Believe me, I like to fool around too. But when it's time to get dirty, you need to focus and you need to have the right people around you. And I am nowhere where I am right now without the people around me. That's 90% of it. Just like Sinatra said, 90% of it is being there. Well, in my experience, 90% of it is the people around you. Then you got to cover the other 10%. And now,
Travon?
And and for my Dr. Phil moment, I appreciate that. Thank you.
There you go. All right. You're usually plugging something like your book after that, I think. LA gets second franchise who open an outdoor center.
I love Scott Hall, Johnny. That's my favorite wrestler of all time. Razor Ramon is number one. Thank you. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
There you go.
G.
No worries. All good. Travone says, you guys have become my favorite Lakers show. Well, thank you.
Well, Travone, you've become one of my favorite question askers because that's part of the show that makes me very, very happy when you guys ask good questions. That makes it especially when it's tough. Like that question with the best player to not win MVP. That is a grade A elite question because
that's a good one.
You're like,
it makes you think. It makes you think.
Yes, it's very, very, very good question. More like that. And then Trayvon, the question with the Steelers, Dodgers, Lakers, that's a great question too that I have been asked. And it's the same answer every time because Super Bowls are really hard to win. They're really hard to win.
Yeah, no, well done, Trayvon. Well done. Absolutely. Just a great part of what we do here. Johnny, thank you again, even though you do want your Portland Trailblazers. You moved from the Kings, I believe, to Portland. So you're we'll give you one, but we'll take the season series. How about that? There you go. It is again the Lakers Fast Break. Truly appreciate you joining us. Cannot thank you enough for doing so. But Joe, great show. Any last thoughts before we went on out?
Good to see you, Intel.
Yes. Hello, Intel.
You'll catch up. I'm sure you'll enjoy the show. Better Asian soup at a restaurant, pho or ramen? Damn, that's another good question.
That.
I like spicy ramen. But love pho too. Like I drench mine with lime, and and then you got those fresh jalapeno. It's so good. But if I had to go with one, I'm going with spicy ramen. Great question. Absolutely great questions tonight.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's my button on the show tonight.
I do like pho, but I go for ramen. Yeah.
Ramen is easier to eat. Pho can be it's not as rigorous as eating crab, but it's you have to be careful when you're eating it because I remember the first time I ate it, my whole shirt was drenched, no matter how slow I was eating it. At least with ramen, there's enough noodles in there to kind of offset the juices jumping everywhere.
All right, with that, it is, of course, the Lakers Fast Break. Truly appreciate you joining us. Intel will catch up with us on that, so I'm hoping he'll enjoy what we talk about in the show, especially what we talked about with the Clippers and Kawhi. Serge, great to have you here. Glad you had a good time camping and all that. Great to have you here. Great to have everyone here once again as we get closer to the start of training camp. Joe, also great to have you here as well. Looking forward to our next conversation. Probably going to have a show Sunday. I just spoke on the text to the Lakerholics. There may be Sunday, so that's probably a no. So I will come on Sunday for you, and we'll get something started. Plus, I will make an announcement on exactly what I have planned for our members coming up here in the coming days. Some pretty good stuff I've got lined up for you guys. And it will be hopefully released to members first, and they'll get the first dibs on it, and then everybody else will be able to go ahead and take a look afterwards. But yeah, once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. Truly appreciate you joining us.
I'm sorry, Eddie Jones, Johnny.
Yeah.
There's Eddie Jones, Nick Van Exel, Shaq, and Kobe. And by the way, Kobe made the All-Star team that year, not even being a starter on his own team.
There you go. Indeed. Still curious to see how this Kawhi saga is going to play itself out as more and more evidence starts to get a little bit closer there. But Joe, yeah, great to have you on the show. Thanks again for joining us. And we'll be back this weekend to provide you more great stuff and some good stuff on the way as we get you closer to the LeBron training camp and the real training camp and NBA training camps. Of course, right here. There you go. Yeah, right here. Right here.
I'm going to do my Randy Watson.
There you go. See, what are the Dodgers actually doing when they do that?
It's more hip. It's more of the hips on that one. It's all in.
Yeah, I know, but they do this, and it's just
what's
okay,
funny is who you can always tell who can dance when they do that and who can't dance. There's no flavor in it. Like God bless Freddie Freeman. Every time he does it, I'm like, stop doing it, Freddie. It ain't gonna work. Of course, Mookie's fluid, right? So he makes it look good.
JSJ, you can always play it from the beginning. You rewind. You can rewind. So it's okay. I know you just got here. We appreciate
Jay, don't worry,
by.
man. Jay, don't worry. We're 2.5 weeks away from training camp. We're going to be here every day for 9 months.
Yes.
Hang tight, because I got a lot of stuff going on, too. It just so happens that luckily some things are opening up right in time for training camp. So don't worry, guys. We're going to be here probably every day for a very long time here.
And with that, it is the Lakers Fast Break. Thank you again for joining us. Please like and subscribe to get the latest notifications on when we come up with some good things that Joe does or I do right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast. Good night, everyone. Be safe.